Good afternoon. Impeachment proceedings against Vice President Sara Duterte continue today as House lawmakers scrutinize her financial records amid allegations she amassed unexplained wealth. For the latest, our multimedia reporter Isabel Petchoy is reporting live from the House of Representatives. Bell?
Despite repeated invitations from the committee, Vice President Sara Duterte remains a no-show as the House Committee on Justice continues with its clarificatory hearings. This morning, Committee Chair Representative Jervin Luis criticized Duterte for continuing impeachment hearings, saying the country's second highest official has chosen to respond to allegations about her academic performance instead of addressing more serious accusations. Luistro said it appears the committee has been ghosted and gaslighted as Duterte continues to skip hearings while public discussion shifts to what she called a trivial issue. For today's clarificatory, the Justice Panel dives into Duterte's financial records, focusing on Duterte's alleged ballooning wealth. According to Justice Panel member Bicol Saro Party List Representative Terry Ridon, Duterte's net worth grew by over 1,000% from 2007 to 2024. Records show, as confirmed by attorney Karen Batu of the Office of the Ombudsman today, Duterte's declared net worth was at 7.2 million pesos in 2007, while Duterte was sitting as the vice mayor of Davao. In recent years, her declared net worth stood at 71.05 million pesos in 2022, 77.5 pesos in 2023, and 88.5 million pesos in 2024. The Office of the Ombudsman also confirmed that the Vice President did not declare any cash on hand and cash deposit beginning 2019 when she was sitting as the mayor of Davao, displacing cash in 2018 and prior years' SALNs. As the committee continues scrutiny over the contents of the VP SALN, another issue expected to come up is Vice President Sara Duterte's declared stake in GenCorp Industries Inc. in her SALN. However, Securities and Exchange Commission records from 2021 to 2024 reportedly do not list her as a stockholder, raising questions about possible inconsistencies. Earlier said this could mean either Duterte or GenCorp committed perjury since one document shows that she was a stockholder. Meanwhile, former Senator Antonio Trillanes IV is also present in subpoenas to present documents on the Vice President's alleged unexplained wealth. Prior to the hearing, Carpio tried to block the release of their tax records in court, citing data privacy, but the committee says it's too late. BIR already handed them. In her opening message, the committee chair pointed out that these documents must be analyzed closely. She said numbers, unlike people, do not have motives, as numbers do not lie. The chair said, however, with or without Duterte's cooperation or presence, the committee will continue on its mandate. This hearing follows previous discussions on confidential funds and will be followed by another hearing on April 29. The next hearing will then cover Duterte's alleged death threats against President Ferdinand Marcos Jr., First Lady Liza Araneta Marcos, and former House Speaker Ferdinand Martin Romualdez. For now, lawmakers are zeroing in on one central question: how did a public official's wealth grow this significantly over time? Neil?
Hmm. Bell, first question, ano exactly yung hinahanap ng ating mga mambabatas dyan sa House of Representatives in looking at the financial records of the Vice President? Basically, I'm asking, what is the end goal here at paano yon i-relate dito sa impeachment charges na kinakarap ng Vice President?
Yes, Neil, part of the impeachment complaints ay yun ngang unexplained wealth ng Vice Presidente at sabi nga nila bilang isang public official, hindi maipaliwanag kung paano lumaki ng ganon mula sa 7 million noong 2007 ay nasa 88 million, noong 2024 ang nakadeklara sa SALN ng Vice Presidente. At ngayon titignan nila, no, taon-taon ano ba yung nakadeklarang SALN, at isa nga sa nakita nila ay walang nakadeklara na cash on hand simula noong 2019 hanggang sa 2024 SALN ng Vice Presidente. At ito ay para suportahan yung mga alegasyon na nandun sa impeachment complaints laban sa Vice Presidente.
Bill, many things have been said about the conduct of the hearing of the House Committee on Justice. May mga nagsasabi na fishing expedition daw ito. Even si Vice President Sara Duterte said na fishing expedition itong ginagawa ng Committee on Justice, especially ngayong binubusisi na yung kanyang mga financial records. Ano masasabi ng mga mababatas tungkol dito?
Well, Neil, iisa yung palaging sinasabi ng kampo ng Vice Presidente, at ito daw ay politically motivated expedition laban sa kanya. Pero paulit-ulit din sinasabi ng Justice Panel ng House of Representatives na yung kanilang ginagawang investigasyon at itong mga hearings na ito ay kailangan upang makita kung may probable cause na yung ginaganap na hearings para magpatuloy ito sa isang full-blown na Senate trial. At yung pagkuha nila ng mga dagdag pang dokumento ang makakapagbigay sa kanila ng desisyon para doon sa kanilang committee report bago ito ipadala sa plenary.
Well, I find the attendance and presence of former Senator Antonio Trillanes IV very interesting. So, ano yung role niya dyan? Is he being treated as a witness, as a resource person?
Neil, hindi siya tinitreat as a witness dahil yun lang terminong witness ay para lang siya sa full na trial. Doon yun mangyayari sa Senate kung sakali man na boboto ang 1/3 ng plenary. At si Trillanes dito sa hearing ay tinuturing lamang na isang resource person. Ganon din ang lahat ng mga ipinatawag o mga ipinasabtina na mga key officials. All of them are considered resource persons.
Bel, so ano yung timeline na tinitingnan natin ngayon dito? Because I understand si Senate President Tito Soto, he has made some statements saying that the Senate may convene by May 4. So if that's the case, kailan inaasahan matapos yung nangyayaring hearing dyan sa House of Representatives? And in saying that, yung mga members ba ng House Committee on Justice, are they expecting nalulusot din ito doon sa plenary level dyan sa House of Representatives?
Neil, yung mga nakaschedule ngayon na clarificatory hearings, so far ay hanggang April 29 pa lamang. Doon nga tatalakayin yung allegation of the death threat ng Vice Presidente sa Pangulo. At pagdating ng April 29, muling pagbobotohan ng Committee on Justice kung magkakaroon pa ng mga susunod na hearing. So if majority of the members decide or vote in favor of adding more clarificatory hearings, posible na ma-extend pa yon. Pero kung hindi naman, maaari na silang maglabas ng kanilang committee report, saka pa lamang yun pagbobotohan ng plenary. At kung maka 1/3, saka pa lamang yun naakyat doon sa Senate. At may binanggit nga si Senate President Soto about the May 4. Pero again, sa level ng House, ito muna yung mga steps na kailangang pagdaanan bago pa magkaroon ng full-blown na Senate trial.
Well, pahabol na tanong na lamang, as you know, merong mga pending petitions right now dito sa Supreme Court questioning the legality and the constitutionality of what the House Committee on Justice is doing at the moment. No? So, worried ba ang mga mambabatas natin dyan about doon sa magiging desisyon ng Supreme Court doon sa mga petition na yon? Or is that a story that is looming dyan sa mga hearings na ginagawa ng House Committee on Justice?
Neil, isa to sa mga in-address nila nung nakaraang clarificatory hearing at sinabi nila na hanggat walang desisyon ng Supreme patuloy lamang ang Justice Panel sa kanilang mandate na sundin yung nandun sa rules for impeachment proceedings. At ngayon nga, ito yung kanilang ginagawang clarificatory hearings kung saan maaaring sumagot ang kampo ng Vice Presidente o ang Vice Presidente herself base sa mga allegation na ibinabato sa kanya.
Bel, walang present dyan from the side of Vice President Sara Duterte, no, to make any defense or to respond dito sa mga lumalabas dyan sa hearing.
Tama, Neil. Ngayon, wala pa rin ang Vice Presidente at ang kampo niya. At kung sakali man kasi na pumunta yung kanyang kampo, ay hindi pa rin sila maaaring sumagot dun sa mga alegasyon dahil tanging yung respondent o si Vice President Sara Duterte ang pwedeng sumagot. At wala nga siya ngayon. Humingi din tayo ng panig ng kampo ni Vice Presidente at abangan natin yan sa ating mga susunod na update.
Okay, maraming salamat, Belle. That's Isabel Pecha reporting live from the House of Representatives. U.S. President Donald Trump is extending the U.S. ceasefire with Iran to allow more time for talks just hours before hostilities were set to resume. In a social media post, Trump cites a request from mediator Pakistan, stressing the need to give Iran's supposed fractured leadership time to form a proposal. He had previously indicated he would not extend a ceasefire and had warned of a resumption of bombing when it expired. Trump also vows to maintain a blockade of Tehran's ports. The fate of peace talks hosted by Pakistan was hanging in the balance following Trump's announcement. A White House official confirmed that U.S. Vice President J.D. Vance would not travel to Pakistan for talks on Tuesday, April 21, as previously planned, pending the submission of an Iranian proposal. Since a first round of talks in Islamabad, Trump has announced a blockade of Iranian ports, while Tehran has closed the Strait of Hormuz again. Iran previously stated that the U.S. carried out behavior they said did not indicate seriousness in pursuing a diplomatic process. Trump had similarly accused Tehran of violating the truce by harassing vessels in the Strait of Hormuz. The waterway is a transit passage for 1/5 of the world's oil. Iran had all but shut the strait in retaliation for the war launched by the U.S. and Israel. Former Vice President Leni Robredo is ruling out a run for national office in the 2028 elections, saying she prefers to remain in Naga City. In a radio interview, Robredo says she plans to seek a second term as mayor of Naga City. She emphasizes she was certain she wouldn't run for any national position despite being aware that some still want her to do so. She vows instead to achieve the goals she had set when she ran for Naga mayor last year. Robredo says her term of 3 years feels short when she wants to accomplish many things that can't be rushed. Robredo retains strong grassroots support despite stepping back from national politics after her failed 2022 presidential bid. She lost by a landslide to President Bongbong Marcos and Vice President Sara Duterte, who ran on a joint ticket. Robredo was considered a leading opposition figure during the former President Rodrigo Duterte's administration from 2016 to 2022. Political analysts tell the Inquirer that Robredo's decision not to seek higher office could create a power vacuum among opposition figures. They said it could weaken their ability to mount a challenge against Vice President Duterte and her party. Vice President Duterte had earlier announced her plan to run for the presidency in 2028. UP political science professor Maria Ella Atienza describes Robredo as the most credible and popular among the anti-Duterte and anti-Marcos voters compared to other opposition figures. She notes that it will be a challenge for the opposition to find another choice with the same kind of grassroots support. And these are the stories you need to know today. I'm Neil Mercado. Follow INQUIRER.net on Facebook, X, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, and Reddit. For more stories, visit INQUIRER.net. Good afternoon.